On this edition of City Focus, the Gornto lift station gets a new generator to improve the sewer system during a storm. The Valdosta Police Department donates old police cars to the Citizens Against Violence organization. And the Utilities Department discusses its pipe replacement program. These stories and more on this edition of City Focus. Welcome to City Focus. I'm Marcus McConico, the media coordinator for the City of Valdosta. This is the 14th episode of City Focus in 2021. City Focus is your source for what's happening within your government. Here are the most important topics that are happening in the city. Over the past year, the Valdosta Airport was able to use funds from the CARES Act to complete some of its long-awaited projects.
The CARES Act, all of these things are mainly for economic stimulus. And so we have some big ticket items that we were trying to figure out where we could get the money to do. So what we did was we put a new roof on the passenger terminal, the airline passenger terminal. That was about $250,000. We also put a new air handler in the terminal, which everybody likes air conditioning, when they're in heating. And that was about $100,000.
They were able to do some projects during the pandemic when not many people were flying.
Trying to figure out for years how to seal coat and restripe the parking lot on the airline passenger side. And when we got down to like 6 cars when no one was flying during the lockdown, then we had a contractor come in and do just that. So seal coat and restripe, so everything looks brand new out there now.
Now with the return of commercial flights, the airport is constantly busy with passengers.
And in May of this year, we had the second highest number of passengers that flew out of Valdosta in 15 years. And in June, we had just 1 passenger less than we had in May. So most of it's leisure travel. Business travel is slower coming back, but we're excited about the people.
The federal funding allowed the airport to make these improvements without passing the costs on to travelers.
Through the Federal Aviation Administration to fund 100% of our projects as opposed to 90%. Typically, our grants are 90% from the Federal Aviation Administration, 5% from the state, and 5% from a passenger facility charge that's levied upon people flying out of Valdosta. We have over $5 million in one grant. We're going to completely redo our main runway and portions of our taxiways on the main runway. And so that would have been $500,000, 10% match. So $250,000 from the state and $250,000 from the people that fly out of here. And when we're collecting that passenger facility charge, it's $4.39 per passenger. So you could see it would take a long time to build up $250,000.
Drivers going along Gornto Road can now see a new addition to the Gornto lift station. A large new generator has been installed at the site in order to provide an extra backup in the event the station loses power.
This guy is our generator to back up the Gornto master lift station. And why such a big generator? Why would we need that? It's needed because the pumps, when they start, we have 4 pumps, submersible pumps in here. They're 385 horsepower. When each pump starts, it draws a lot of power. So sometimes, especially during a storm, we'll have multiple pumps running, and you need a huge amount of reserve power to start those pumps.
The station has power from Georgia Power and Colquitt EMC, but during a storm, a downed tree could cause one or both power sources to go out. If that happens, the generator is there for a third source of power.
Throughout the south, all the power transmission lines are above ground. So if we get winds, sustained winds above 35, 40 miles an hour, trees go down, take out the power lines. And if you look over here where these three poles are, right here, power for both feeds goes to that central point. So the above ground power is always a weak point.
It's the city's plan to have generators for each pump station across the city, so each station has multiple sources of backup power.
We're currently under contract for 10 more generators, transfer switches, but scaled down, very much scaled down for the other pump stations. That'll be done this fiscal year, and then I'll have 2 more I'm going to add on. Actually, that contract for those 10 is already out, so those will be done. This fiscal year, the last 2 fixed generators for the current pump stations will be let out, and then I'll have generators at the stations I can physically install them at. We have a couple of stations that we physically don't have the room to put them, but we have portable generators or we have portable pumps.
For more information,
And when this is
contact
running,
the
you can
utilities.
actually stand here and talk.
The Valdosta metro area has been named top 10 for positive job growth by Business Facilities from February to November 2020.
Well, it's a great testimony. It's a great recognition for us, and it just speaks to the quality of our workforce and, again, the leadership that we have here in the community, that we're going to stay open and make your business successful. And that's a huge testament for any industry looking to locate.
That's top 10 nationwide, by the way, not just for the state of Georgia. So our people want to work. Our people are ready to get back to work. But it says more about the community. No community's recession-proof. We have South Georgia Medical Center. We have Valdosta State University. We have a great Air Force base. We have the 2 school systems as well. So that makes us, it's advantage us. But now we have great privatized workforce as well with Arglass Yamamura and some of the great paying jobs that are out there.
Many local economies suffered during the pandemic, but because of Valdosta's economic diversity, the city was able to avoid those pitfalls.
And so when one industry sector tends to slow down, we still have others that are growing, which helps keep our economy strong. During the pandemic, there were types of industries that were listed as essential industries. And we have many of those in our community. And as you mentioned, food processing as well as logistics distribution. I mean, we saw the supply chain management need, so that definitely kept growing.
Our community was able to add more small businesses. Also, building and improvements increased across the county.
Building permits, some 8,000 plus in the first half of that pandemic year, set an all-time record for Valdosta. So not only were we in business, we were building business as well.
In 2020, during a pandemic, we announced 13 projects with $31 million in capital investment and 215 jobs. So again, a huge testament to our community.
Mayor Matheson credits the entire community for the positive news.
It's our city and county, it's our development authority, it's Wiregrass Georgia Technical College, it's that university themselves, and so many private stakeholders as well working together. That is advantage us. So Valdosta is not only back to work, but we're ready to receive.
For more information, visit buildlounge.com.
None of us wanted to see this again. I do it for these gentlemen. I wear this mask for my family members who I love at home and want dearly to protect. Here we go again. COVID-19 is real, it's in our community, cases are on the rise, and we're here with South Georgia Medical Center, Chairman Bill Slaughter as well, to put that message out to the public.
Citizens, the message we want to send to you today is please consider getting the vaccination. Do that for your family, for yourself, and for the other citizens in this community. The evidence has shown that the vaccination does a tremendous amount to prevent you from getting the COVID. Now, We have right behind us South Georgia Medical Center, and South Georgia Medical Center now has over 50 patients up there with the COVID-19 virus. They're suffering through this. We have no intentions of mandating it, but reality is that the vaccine has worked. I have taken the vaccine, my wife has taken the vaccine. So far, we've been very, very fortunate not to have it. So again, I just want to encourage you, please consider that, get the vaccine. If not, wear the mask, do the things that you need to do to protect your family and this community. Thank you.
Vaccinations blunt the tip of the sword when it comes to the battle against COVID. There's really no excuse. We should all consider becoming vaccinated. Vaccination sites are available at our Smith Northview campus, at private physicians' offices are providing vaccination, and if you need assistance in determining where to become vaccinated, reach out to our website, www.sgmc.org. We invite the public to rethink your position if you've not been vaccinated. It'll help your family, it'll help your community, it'll help our healthcare workforce that's working so hard for you.
Please help us help you and your families by getting the COVID vaccination, or at least consider the vaccination. The science is out there. Please follow the science, do your research, and consider getting the vaccination to help us get to another level where we don't have to wear the mask, don't have to social distance. But please do your part by considering the vaccination.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
COVID-19 has changed how we vibe. Now it's time to take the first step that lets us get back to getting ticks instead of watching flicks. Before we can safely get out there, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions.
Is it safe? Should I get it? Is it free?
It's okay to have questions. Now get the facts about COVID-19 vaccines at GetVaccineAnswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your crew.
Well, we're pretty much overwhelmed. We're doing the very best we can, but the volume of patients that we see is more than we saw previously. Just like to encourage everybody to please go ahead and have your family members and your loved ones get the vaccine. It's the thing to do.
If you want to protect your child, you want to protect your loved ones, especially the ones with chronic illnesses, immunosuppression, the best way to do that and to reduce your risk and their risk of getting really sick from COVID-19, getting long-haul COVID symptoms, is to get the vaccine.
I'm telling all the patients I see in the clinic who haven't been vaccinated to go that very day, and we try to facilitate that for them. And then tell them to take extra precautions for the following 28 days, at least until they've developed some antibodies.
As short as a month ago, we had single-digit numbers in the hospital, and these numbers have exponentially increased over the last few weeks. So there is definitely a lot of community spread.
So the biggest appeal that I would make to anybody is the same appeal I make to all my patients. I've been vaccinated, my wife's been vaccinated, I made sure my parents got vaccinated. My kids, as soon as the age range is eligible for them, will be vaccinated. Everybody broadly across my family, I've made personal phone calls to and ensured that they got vaccinated. I would never do that to people that I love more than anything if I was concerned about the safety or efficacy of the vaccine, and of course wouldn't take it myself.
The main reason why I'm recommending vaccinations for patients is obviously it's cutting down on the amount of infection, the amount of transmission rates, and keeping people alive.
The Valdosta Fire Department is hosting a 9/11 Memorial 5K run on September 11, 2021.
It's very satisfying to be able to help those guys that are still dealing with the aftermath. We as a country promised 20 years ago that we would never forget this day. And that is my plan with this, and hopefully everybody else's plan, is to never forget what a sad day this was in our country. These guys are going to deal with this the rest of their lives, their families are going to deal with it the rest of their lives, and this whole country is going to continue dealing with it.
The run will take place in downtown Valdosta, and registration can be done online. Participants who register before or on August 31st will receive a t-shirt.
If you want to be involved, you can either become a sponsor, and we have a sponsorship package of 4 different packages that you can choose from on sponsorship. You can either run or walk or just show up and cheer the runners and the people on as they're going through. Or we actually have a volunteer sign up that you can, we all have those links on our city website.
All proceeds from the race will be donated to the Ray Pfeiffer Foundation, an organization that aids 9/11 first responders with medical needs that are not covered by insurance.
The foundation is the Ray Pfeiffer Foundation. Ray Pfeiffer was a chief in New York Fire Department, FDNY. He was actually injured during 9/11, and he was one that fought for the benefits for all the first responders for 9/11, the ones that were either killed on 9/11 or the ones that are continuously getting sick from responding to the incident. His foundation has pushed for aid from the government, federal government and local government, and his foundation actually, what it does is picks up any expenses that those coverages or those benefits don't cover.
For more information, please visit the city's website at valdostacity.com. The Citizens Against Violence Ministry was presented with 2 old police cars after the City Council approved the sale for $1 each to the nonprofit organization. Volunteers will use the cars to patrol neighborhoods and report incidents of violence.
Actually, Citizens Against Violence, they're such an outstanding organization. They do a lot for our community. We do a lot of work together to help, deter violence in different neighborhoods and stuff like that. And it's great that we're able to give some of the resources that we can no longer use to other agencies that are able to, and organizations that are able to use it.
We plan to do great things, and these cars will be used with our citizen patrol to patrol our neighborhoods And the big part about it is that they don't have to use their own vehicle, because of funds and things of this nature. They can use these cars and we'll take care of it for them, for our volunteers.
The organization has plans to put the cars to immediate use after accessorizing each vehicle with Citizens Against Violence logos. Members of Grace Point Church made lunches for members of the Valdosta Police Department as a show of appreciation to the men and women of the department.
And they've come out today and they've brought all this food and have donated their food and their time to show our officers how much they mean to them.
All food was free as a donation from the church, and officers were encouraged to come out and enjoy some food.
Words don't describe the feeling we get and the support that we get in our community. And to see it today, they're out here sweating in the heat just so that our guys and girls can have a good meal. It's just incredible.
The police department and the city of Valdosta would like to thank the church for showing how much our officers mean to them.
I got wall left, I'm holding you move.
Each member of the Valdosta Police Department will be issued new plate carrier vests that will protect against rifle rounds.
We just issued to all of our officers now is a plate carrier. Never before have we had every officer have a plate carrier. This is the first time we've rolled them out to every single one of them. And essentially what they are is they are nylon vests that have a plate, it's like a ballistic panel or plate that goes in the front and back. So the panel's essentially meant to stop rifle rounds. Most of the rifle rounds we encounter, it'll do a pretty good job of stopping.
Police across the country are seeing more rifles in their line of work, and that's why the department felt it was important to purchase them.
Rifles are a lot more prevalent now than they used to be. Police have been policing for hundreds of years, right, without the need of plate carriers, so why now? But we're encountering more rifles now. Not only are we encountering more rifles, but rifle rounds, because now that firearm technology advances, you're starting to see rifle rounds be able to be fired through pistols or much smaller weapon platforms.
Moving, holding. So Wagner actually step out of the doorway.
Along with training with the new vest, the members of the department also took part in active shooter training and riot control training.
Tactics have changed in law enforcement. Even 15, 20 years ago, what we used to do is if we came up on an active shooter scene, we would allow police to get there, they would surround the area, and we would just wait until SWAT got there to handle it. But now we're not doing that. Tactics across the nation have changed. So what police are doing now is they're going on scene and we're immediately going in there to find the active shooter and neutralize that threat. Well, if we're going to do that, though, we need to protect our officers and afford them the capability of protection and make sure they have the equipment, the tools they need to do that. So since we're requiring that of our officers now, we're equipping them to do their job and getting there and save lives.
The department trains for these events with the hopes that they will never happen in the city. The new vest and constant training should give residents peace of mind if these events should occur.
Knowing the officers can now respond even to a critical incident where someone has a high-powered rifle and still do their job and get in there and stop an active shooter or stop a threat, which ultimately winds up keeping citizens of Valdosta safe.
For more information, contact the Valdosta Police Department.
The pipe replacement on MacArthur Road is nearly complete, as its old 2-inch pipes are being updated to 6-inch pipes.
So what's existing pipe in the ground was a 2-inch. It was old piping, it's been there for who knows how long. Over the years, we've had to do a lot of repairs to it, make a lot of repairs. It needed to be upsized. So a couple years ago, we started a more or less an upsizing program for all our 2-inch lines. So that's what's taking place now. The 2-inch line that's in the ground, we are going to upsize it to 6-inch.
The larger pipes will mean a better quality of living with an improvement in water pressure and fire protection.
About 2 years ago, we just kind of got together, mapped out where all the 2-inch lines were in the city and put together a program to start doing a multi-year upgrade to them. And so that's what we're doing now. We're in our second year of doing it, and next year we'll set out another set of 2 inches that'll be upgraded, upsized to 6-inch.
The MacArthur pipe replacement is part of a larger program that works to replace old pipes with newer ones yearly.
COVID-19 numbers are on the rise again in Valdosta and Lowndes County. Officials at the South Health District and South Georgia Medical Center are encouraging residents to get one of the COVID vaccines. Visit sgmc.org or southhealthdistrict.com to schedule your vaccination. This concludes another edition of City Focus. Be sure to visit our website, valdostacity.com. Like us on Facebook, Valdosta City Without Limits. Also join next door for city updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at City of Valdosta, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Metro 17 Valdosta, to watch City Focus on demand. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on City Focus.